Anyway, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, the two leading roles at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah,
thank
nomination,
you.
I mean.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So how much did you know about Lynn Cheney?
I knew very little going in. I knew people's opinions of her, but I didn't know anything about her life. So that was a really important thing for me, is to dive in and sort of figure out who the woman is outside of people's opinions of her.
What is your interpretation of her character? So what is the motivation of her, do you think?
Well, I think that it changes through the course of the film. I mean, I think that the biggest motivating factor for her was her family. I think that ultimately she, was very protective and very supportive of her family.
But she kind of betrayed, her daughter in the,
It's interesting because I know that's a lot of people's perspective, but in playing the role, I never saw it that way. I do, from many conversations I've had, understand other people's point of view, but I always saw it as her supporting both of her daughters. She supports Mary and she supports Liz. They just happen to not agree with one another. So the support of Liz felt like a betrayal. Yeah.
So you mean that you don't think she's a kind of bad, character? I mean, villain.
Well, as an actor, it's important for me not to judge my characters, or else I am going to come in with my own point of view, which I think won't actually help tell the story. So I think I have to kind of remove whatever my personal opinion is and my assumptions about the character and try to dig and find as many facts and truths as I can. Yeah.
I think the Lynn's character is kind of similar to the your character in The Master. The kind of puppet master's puppet master. So do you enjoy these kind of
Do
roles?
I enjoy that? It's interesting because I see them. I understand why people would draw the parallels because it's too. But in them, I find them very different. But at the same time, understand sort of why people would draw the parallel. But yeah, it's always. I like playing strong women. The character in The Master was a hard one for me because of her absolute belief in certain things. So that was always tricky at the end to walk away from, yeah.
How about the character in your Sharp Object? It's kind of totally opposite, I think. So she's kind of vulnerable.
Well, I finished Sharp Objects and then had about a month before I started prepping for Cheney. So that was a very, jarring switch. But the character in Sharp Objects, she's completely different. Like, I never get the sense that Lynn would allow herself to be victimized in that way. They're very, very different. Yeah.
How could you change your kind of mindset from the vulnerable to the strong?
I think that both characters speak to some part of my psyche, that very different sides of my personality, whereas Lynn is very outspoken and very assured of her intellect and her intelligence, and I think that Camille was never supported in that way, and so they're just so starkly opposite. So it was fun to get to dive in that way and create those challenges for myself. I think it helps you grow. Yeah.
So I want to get back to the Princess Giselle.
I hope so. I really could use a little Giselle right now. I was saying I've been living in like a very strange reality with my roles, so it would be really fun to come back to Giselle.
What was this kind of 11 years?
I know it's been a really long time. I know they're working on a script, so fingers crossed that we get to it. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so
much.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you.
What do you say? I want you to be my VP. The vice presidency is mostly a symbolic job. However, if we were to come to a different understanding, I can handle mundane jobs like overseeing military, energy, foreign policy. I like that.
アメリカ史上最強の副大統領
This isn't something that a vice president really does, is it?
No, it is now.
バイス